Hey guys, this is Anupam again. Today we are going to talk about how to get better insights using a chatbot from your SAP data. So SAP obviously has a ton of your financial records, balance sheet, income statements, etc. And we will today dive deeper into how we can chat with those balance sheet and P&L statements and get more insights. All right, let's dive in. So those who are familiar with SAP, they might be, knowing about this set of reports which are out there. If I do F.01, it gives me options to select a bunch of financial statements, right? And the underlying program name is RFBIL A00 and transaction code is F.01. So if I was to run this with the variant USP for SAP one, basically it's going to pull up data for company code 1000 to 3000 and get me the output, right? So you might be very familiar with this already. You're getting the balance sheet items, the assets, current assets, then you get accounts receivable, etc. And then below that, you will also get the liabilities, account payables, and then some of your P&L account statements, right? So first, what I'll do is I'll pull this data into Power BI using our USB for SAP connector. So let's quickly walk through this. What we are going to do is to put in this SAP server name, and then we are going to select report, which is this, and put in the name RFBIL A00, and the variant which we had selected USB for SAP 1. I think rest of the fields will leave them as is and just do OK. So what it does is now it is going and it has fetched the data by running this report onto SAP. So for that, first thing it needs is to be able to get my ID from SAP. So whatever my ID is set up in SAP under this ID, that's all I'll be authorized to see when I open it up in Power BI, right? So it aligns with SAP's security and authorization models. It's now going in and running that report and fetching this information onto the Power BI, right? If you look at it, it has fetched all those records, which is good. Let's see if we can get some more intelligence out of this. So here's summary of what are the current assets, total assets. I can have the trade receivables, etc. But the interesting part here is how can I query this data using a chatbot. So this is the chatbot which has been built in, and at a base level, it shows me some out-of-the-box Q&As, but let's see if we can get better insights by running this on my iPad. So for that, what I have to do is to just publish this report, and based on that, it will go ahead and be available on my iPad, right? So let me switch to my iPad and see how this works on a chatbot model. All right. So this is Power BI running on my iPad. And let's see if we can query this data slightly better. show total for total of reporting period by company code So here you go. It does take a bit of learning to do to understand the voice, but it does give me a good view of, it draws the charts automatically using AI for, whatever I'm looking for, right? So show total for reporting period by company. Let's do this, reporting period by text for balance P&L item, and then it goes and shows me this chart, which is useful. But let's see if I can filter this down even more by asking it to just find me the items where there is inventory involved, where it contains inventory. There you go. So if you notice, all the labels now, they have only the P&L items where there's inventory involved, right? So using this either on a desktop or on a mobile device, you would be able to query your data. A bit of language understanding is needed, but it gives pretty good results, of drawing the charts, etc., based on the voice commands. All right. One quick thing which I wanted to add on to was how does this Power BI service, the chatbot looks on a browser. So once we have published the Power BI report onto a browser, we can go to the Power BI service. So here's the browser. Let me do full screen on this. On the browser, you get pretty much the same overview. You can get some stock questions, and let's see how we can ask questions about our data from this. So first I'll ask it to do a sum of total for reporting period, and then I get a sum value 293 billion for this period. Now let me ask it to do this by company code. Select company code, and here it has drawn this chart of on the vertical column there's company codes, and then amounts for each of the company codes. Now let's refine this. There's a column which is reporting period by text for balance sheet item. So it gives me all the balance sheet items, balance sheet and P&L items which are there in the list. So it has drawn this chart. Let's say I want to dig deeper into all the assets. So I'll say where it contains So now it has refined this particular text value, and it is only selecting those items on the balance sheet and P&L where the text contains assets. Now this can become pretty useful if you wanted to do a kind of a wildcard search on your data and get the results from it. All right. So to summarize, what have we done? We pulled the profit and loss and the balance sheet items from SAP, pulled that into Power BI, put it on a Power BI service, and then we use that on iPad. There's some learning which is involved for the language, and then we use that on a chatbot on a browser, so that people can draw their own reports and charts from that. All right, I hope you find this useful.